just that I had multiple myeloma. It's incurable, but hopefully I would be able to get a bone marrow transplant. Um, I was scared to death and didn't understand exactly what multiple myeloma was. I didn't have any idea. They took a blood test, and my kidneys had shut down to only working 17%. And then they done bone marrow tests, and my bones were just like sawdust. And they knew right then that I had multiple myeloma. So they started chemotherapy right away, and I had chemotherapy every 4 days. I don't remember him saying. I, I don't know. My bones were in such bad shape that it was just powder. I have to, I guess, assume that it was it was in a high stage of some type. I think I remember most of it. They gave me chemo every 4 days plus Zometa to try to help my bones. I think we done that for like 3 or 4 months. Then I got off of chemo for a month and went to Indianapolis to the Multiple Myeloma Center there at the Simon Cancer Center. Um, they ran me through all these tests to make sure that I could go through the bone marrow transplant. Then they took my stem cells. They took 2 days, took my stem cells. If I remember right, they got 19 million stem cells. And then, like, they gave me this chemo that they said would basically put me to the brink of death. Um, and it did. And so that they were hoping, killed everything of the myeloma that was active at the time. And then put my stem cells back in, and then it took like a year to get your strength back. And I remember thinking that I was doing really good. I'd go get some groceries, and sometimes by the time I got to town, it was all I could do to get home. I couldn't even go to the grocery store. You would just get that tired, but I'm doing much better than that now. Much better. But some of the treatment I don't remember. I think for some reason you're so sick that it's blocked out. You know, people will tell me what went through, and most of it I don't even remember. I think because I was so close to death with the chemo and everything, to try to put my life back together with the bone marrow transplant, that you're just so sick that I don't remember all of it. But it worked, whatever they done. I think when you're that scared, you just have the inner strength that you're going to beat it no matter what. You have family and friends that depend on you, and you want to show them that you can beat this. It comes from inside somewhere that you're not going to lose. And I always said, even once I was diagnosed, that I will not die of multiple myeloma. I will just keep fighting. No, he sent me to Indianapolis, and they said that, um, you know, just that it was incurable, and I had to just keep fighting, and they would keep giving me what they could and do the bone marrow transplant. The bone marrow transplant with the stem cells had done so well. I believe they said that 3 years, it was only 3 years old when I had mine, that 3 years before that, your expectations of living without it was like 10%. But they'd had really good results with the bone marrow and stem cell transplant. So I was lucky and made it so far. I had to stop doing a lot of things that I love to do because my bones are so fragile. And I just don't have the strength to do things anymore because of the multiple myeloma. So, you know, I used to hunt, I used to golf. I can't do any of that anymore. Run the sweeper. lifting, I'm not to lift, they won't let me climb ladders. So it was completely different. It was a big change. That was probably the hardest thing. It was a big change to um, tell yourself that you can't do that, because it's so hard to ask somebody else to do it for you. But you learn after a while that to make every day better for yourself with multiple myeloma, you learn that you have to depend on those people to help you to get through it. I have the best support network in the world. My family and friends are the very best. I never went outside of my family and friends because I had so much support from them that I felt secure being with all of them rather than going outside for support help. I did it all with my friends and family, and they're still there supporting me all the way, every day. They helped me keep my faith. They took care of me while I had the transplant. They were there for me for chemo, for the transplant. They were always there right beside me. Um, and I could never ask for anything more. You've got to keep your faith and keep your strength and keep going. They've came so far in the last 5 years with the help with the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation that you have a great chance of surviving. Even though it's incurable, you can manage to keep living every day. Every day's a new day. Every day's a new challenge. But you've got to just tell yourself, I can deal with this challenge every day. You're very thankful. Um, you begin to start every morning when you wake up, you look at that beautiful sunrise, or you learn to really appreciate every day of your life and not take those beautiful skies and fun. You learn not to take that for granted. So it's very fun to have an extra birthday every year. It makes you stop and realize how thankful that you really can, that I really am. It makes me feel wonderful. Such beautiful people that care. You sometimes don't realize how much people do care. Um, it is so heartwarming to see anyone who gives to the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. It's absolutely awesome. Thank you. Without all the donations, there's no way that people like myself with multiple myeloma would be surviving to see every morning come up and to see their grandchildren, to see their family and friends. Multiple myeloma research has done a fabulous job of pushing medicine through, and they've done wonderful. And your donations, it could not be done without donations from everyone.